Hello, and welcome to the April edition of the Corporate ESG 5 in 5 podcast, the podcast in which we spend 5 minutes exploring the key ESG trends set to shape the market this month. I'm Pietro Stimamiglio from the Climate and ESG Capital Markets team here at NatWest, and I will be taking you through this month's development impacting the real estate sector. The European Commission approved the updated Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which aims to promote the improvement of the energy efficiency of buildings within the European Union. This directive carries a dual mission. On the one hand, it aims to diminish greenhouse gas emissions, and on the other hand, it strives to alleviate energy poverty within the EU. Let's begin with the overarching objective, which is to achieve zero emissions building by 2050. At present, buildings account for over 1/3 of the EU's total emissions. To combat this, the directive mandates that by 2030, all buildings must be zero emissions, with the entire building stock transitioning by 2050. For residential buildings, each member state will adopt its own national trajectory to reduce their average primary energy use by 16% by 2030 and 22% by 2035. This includes renovating the worst performing buildings, with at least 55% of energy reduction achieved through these renovations. Similarly, for non-residentials, minimum energy performance standards will gradually be introduced to renovate the worst performing buildings by 2030 and 2033. Important to note here is that member states will have the possibility to exempt certain categories of both residential and non-residential buildings from these obligations, including historical buildings or holiday homes. In terms of tackling energy poverty, it is argued that renovations of buildings tend to pay for themselves over time by generating savings on energy bills. However, there are a variety of obstacles at present which may deter owners from going ahead with energy renovation, therefore remaining exposed to high energy bills. This is especially true for those living in the worst performing buildings, who are also often those with less capital to finance energy performance improvements. Hence, according to the directive, plans from the member states must enable the deployment of sufficient national level finance and help leverage private investment at scale. Furthermore, the directive emphasizes the integration of renewable energy sources. Solar energy installation in new buildings, public structures, and existing non-residential buildings undergoing renovations will be incentivized. Similarly, plans to promote eco-friendly transportation and sustainable mobility infrastructures, such as electric vehicles recharging points and bicycle parking spaces, will also be supported. Looking ahead, the directive will be signed and published in the official journal of the EU. Member states will then have 2 years to incorporate these provisions into their national legislation, and the directive will undergo a review in 2028 to assess progress and make any necessary adjustments. In terms of what this means for corporate treasurers with large real estate portfolios, it's important to identify an action plan to reduce the emissions of the building stocks and identify the best financial solution to fund this. Thanks for listening to this month's Corporate ESG 5 in 5. I hope you find it useful. As always, please be sure to check our monthly newsletter linked in the description for more on the key ESG trends shaping the market this month. And if you liked the episode, please follow the channel and click the notification bell so you can get future episodes as soon as they get released. Thanks again, and see you next time.